Before I get into today's video, remember to follow me on Twitter. So my Twitter, the link is in the description below. You can also find me. My handle is @JacksonKruger. Come over, say hi, and anyways, back to your regularly scheduled video. So how good or bad was Justin Fields as a rookie? It's an interesting discussion to be had. He did some things poorly, quite frankly. He did some things really well, though. So we're going to start off with some negatives, but then we're going to get into some positives, and then finally sort of talk about general thoughts on him as a rookie. So starting off with this play, I have to be honest, this is what I saw on film, is that there's times he was a one-read quarterback. And again, saying one-read quarterback is obviously a bit of an oversimplification. Every quarterback can get off to a second read at times, but still, we're talking about this in comparison to, like, you're competing with Aaron Rodgers twice a season, right? He's not a one-read quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. That's unfair, but that's what you have to eventually be able to do. So on this play, for example, you see that the way this route could work for the tight end, if it just gets into a gap in coverage, you throw it quickly and hit the tight end. That's what you hope happens. If not, well, at the very least, you're taking away another defender over the middle of the field. There's value in that as well. Your other two receivers are going to be doing that, which can definitely pick on zone coverage a little bit, as they both are going to kind of be in one player's zone, although a safety could pick up the other player potentially. But with them both potentially going in the same player's zone, you can only cover one guy. One's shallower, one's further deep. Hopefully somebody gets open. So the way you should make this read, if you're Justin Fields, is you read the tight end over the middle. If he's open, you throw it to him. If he's not, you quickly get over to that second part of this play. Right when this play begins, you're going to notice the two things. I mean, what I've circled is that Allen Robinson is going to be open right here. I mean, he is open in the back of the end zone. This is a potential touchdown. Instead, Fields throws it to someone who is not open, and it's incomplete. Now, from this angle, it actually looks a little bit like there was a chance that he was maybe actually trying to hit Robinson, and just there were other players in the way. But I do not believe that to be the case, looking at the other angle, because the throw would have been well short had that been the case, and looked a little off as well. So I do believe, and plus he was never looking at Robinson. So I do believe that this was a throw to, a player who was not open. He felt like he could make the throw. Again, he's a rookie. I get it. I'm not saying this is why he's a bust. No, not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is these are the things he has to work on. Also, there were some plays like this, which I think you could, if you're a big Fields fan, defend and say, oh, no, these aren't issues. And if you're a big Fields hater, you would say, no, these are issues. So first, this one, it's going to be zone coverage. And you see the route that, Fields is going to be looking towards here. It's a route that can work against this type of coverage. Right when this play begins, Fields runs the play action. And if I'm being honest, I think Fields waits too long to make this throw. I think that you have to be able to throw with anticipation in the NFL, which means throw it to guys who aren't yet open, which can get you into trouble sometimes. But I think especially if you're a team that doesn't have good wide receivers, that's probably what you have to do. That's the Ryan Fitzpatrick model, right? Of throw it to someone before they're open and try to time it up to when they're about to get open instead of waiting to see if they're open and then making the throw. Because Fields waiting to see if there's going to be an opening, which there's a bit of an opening here. I can see what he sees here, but I think he just waits a little bit too long. By the time he finally does make the throw, that gives the time for a defender to get back, and he easily could have intercepted that one. So just, again, not the worst play in the world. It was a good defensive play. Like, that's kind of why I'm saying you could argue both sides, because I totally would sit here and say, I don't know. Like, that wasn't a bad throw from Fields. I see what he saw there, and it was a good defensive play. That wasn't like an interception-worthy throw necessarily. But at the end of the day, he threw it into a defender's arms, and it wasn't because of like a miscommunication or anything. So you do have to put some of the blame on him. Like, this next play is basically going to be a very similar example. It's one of these routes that I just don't even really like these routes. I think you have to be very careful with this kind of concept where it's going to be zone coverage that the Packers are in, and you can see how this route can work, right? There is a little gap where no one's going to be close to the sideline towards the top of the screen. But one important detail that you might go unnoticed but cannot is Fields is taking the snap from the hash marks on the right side of the offense, so closer towards the bottom of the screen, meaning this route is going to be a much tougher angle than if it was on the other side of the field. So that's a very important aspect of this play. Watch, Fields takes the snap, and you see right here, again, Fields waits until the cut happens. I think if you're going to make this throw, you absolutely have to make this throw early. You cannot wait on this, because you look at Rasul Douglas. he's already breaking in. So he's reading this play very well. And again, I get it. It's tough. You're playing for the Chicago Bears. There aren't a lot of guys getting open easily, but this is just too dangerous of a play to potentially pick up the minimal yards that you would have picked up here. I just don't like this type of play. As you see, Fields throws it there, and it's going to end up getting intercepted and returned for a touchdown. So just not the best play there from Justin Fields. Again, you throw it to someone else who's wearing a different jersey who then scores a touchdown. That's a bad play. It's an understandable one, and I get it, and I'm not going to crush him for it. These are the growing pains that you have to have as an NFL quarterback. Part of why I like having a guy start right away, if as long as they're good enough to justify starting right away and not embarrass themselves right when they get on the field. I do think that, you get better playing, and this is something that will help him get better. And now I do want to talk some positives. I know the screen's very blurry. It will get better in a second. Sorry about that. That's on their end, not on my end. I don't know why it's all blurry. But anyways, yeah, and I've also paused it right here. But I just wanted to kind of set up that, I do feel like for Fields, this stuff happens frequently. And this is the good stuff. It's if at least once a game, you would see him using his legs and using his mobility in a way that made you say, okay, yeah, that's going to really help you in the NFL. That's a tool that will always work in the NFL as long as you still have your legs. Watch how when this play begins, you see that the Packers leave a little bubble, and Fields on a third down is able to pick up the first down by reading the play well and using his legs, and he gets out of bounds, which sometimes he struggles with, avoiding taking hits, but avoids to take a hit there. So that's something that I really like about Fields, and that's something that I think I underestimated heading into the NFL, was how big of an impact that would have for the Chicago Bears, and it is something that really is valuable. I know Bears fans will say, Trubisky had that, you need more than that, and that's true, but it's always a nice benefit to have. That's just a definitive way to get an advantage where no one was open, but he used his legs to get the first down anyway. Not every quarterback can do that. It's a nice tool to have in your tool belt. And again, something like this, there were these occasional throws that would make you just say, oh my goodness, that should be on a highlight reel for forever. And this is going to be it, where it's man coverage, cover one man play, and watch what's going to happen here. Fields takes the snap, he runs the play action, and then due to some pressure, he gets flushed outside the pocket. That's the player he wants to hit. You can see how this can work, but watch this throw. I mean, look at this thing. Just an absolute thing of beauty, and the receiver was not able to hang on to the ball, inbounds. Maybe Fields even could have led him closer towards Fields, so closer towards the line of scrimmage to the right side of the screen. But, I think what he did was fine. He threw a catchable ball when that play had no business, having a chance to work. So there's some flashes. There's some good stuff. But he does have to just get more NFL ready than he is right now. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Justin Fields. Plenty to like about his rookie season. He definitely showed some flashes. I think it's fair to say that, all of these rookie quarterbacks, with the exception of Mac Jones, were a bit disappointing in year one, but it's also just year one. You have to give a quarterback at least 2 years. Maybe, some people say at least 3. But, definitely don't want to move off of them after year one unless it's a Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray situation. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.